Welcome to Transcendence. I'm extremely happy and excited that you are all here today. I am doing something extremely vulnerable today. I don't usually channel transmissions. I usually get my transmissions and then I build them into workshops, and that's what we do here at Transcendence. We teach all about the personal process and the spiritual journey to remind you of who you actually are and to hopefully facilitate you guys with some tools that you can use on your journey. I'm Jessica Alstrom. Susie and I own Transcendence Wellness Center. It is a center that is based in personal awareness. We focus on the root cause of suffering here, which is before pain, which is before the symptom, which is before everything, which is thought. So kind of getting to the root cause of that and helping you guys on your journey is the philosophy of transcendence. So we've grown a lot this year. And about 6 weeks ago, I started getting woken up in the middle of the night with information flowing through me. It was kind of annoying. But I began to write about what was shifting on the planet. And I'm very connected to my guidance, so I'm very familiar with what's going on in the planet, but this was very unique in the fact that it was a sense of urgency. And I would call Susie in the morning and I would say, get the video camera ready, I have to do a video. And then by the time I would get here, I'm like, I'm over it, you know. So weeks and weeks of being woken up at 3 a.m., my guidance finally told me, okay, it's time for you to do Second Sundays. And Second Sundays hopefully will become, you know, a standard here at Transcendence, which is a message, which is tools, which is guidance on what is happening on the planet. If you're in this room, there's no mistake. You're here for a reason. And if you're here at Transcendence, we're obviously branches from the same tree. So it's all about resonance. You know, on our spiritual journey, we all resonate with different teachers and different ideas and different aspects. All of them are correct. All of them are important. It's the ones that really feel like home to you that you should be gravitating towards. So if I say anything today through my heart that doesn't align or resonate with you, you don't need to accept it. You can take what you will and you know, hopefully be vulnerable with me. All right, so I would like everyone to get back into their bodies, please. Let's just do a little bit of breathing. Okay, that definitely helped raise the vibration of this space. Thank you again, Vanessa. Uncross your legs for me. Let all of your energy flow. Let all of your pain in your body go just for the next hour. Let all of your problems go just for the next hour. They'll all be there for you right when you come back. Let's breathe with the intention of letting go. Breathe all the way into your belly and let it drop out. And then breathe again. Use your own rhythm. I'm not going to count. Just be with you. You're the only one in this room right now. Let's do 2 more breaths. And let go. Right. If you're going to be here, you might as well be here, right? Okay, so like I said, this is a very vulnerable experience for me because I don't usually channel. The type of channeling that I do is not, I'm very conscious, so I will not go into a deep trance that you will be aware of. I will be focused on you. I might even pull you out of the crowd and answer one of your questions for you if you're thinking about something. We'll just see how it goes. I want to give you just a quick little backstory about me. I'm not special. I just am kind of fearless in the way that I have had my experience of my awakening. I want you to think back on your own awakening during this next hour. about that pivotal moment or moments of your life where everything started to shift for you, where you started to see the world differently, question things, look around at your surroundings and your body and your relationships a little bit differently? Because that's the moment that we're celebrating today. That's the moment when you woke up. And what you woke up from was a deep sleep that this planet has been in for over 300,000 years. And that deep sleep has kept us all in the dark. And what the darkness actually means is absence of love. It means absence of information. And light means information. It means love. And that's what we're all waking up into. And the planet is completely supporting that. Earth was a divine experiment. Earth is a living library. This planet was designed to hold the information of the entire universe. Your DNA holds the grids and information of the entire universe. And as you awaken, you become to know thyself. You become to know God, because you are God. When I had my awakening, it was in 2007, and my life was in the toilet. I was in a really dark place. And for the first time in my entire life, I fell to my knees and I asked for help. I'm going to get emotional. I didn't know where that help was going to come from because I had no support system. I didn't have family that understood me. I didn't have friends. I wasn't in loving relationships, but I did have kids to support. So I fell to my knees and I asked for help. And that day I had my first meditative experience, and I saw Yahshua, Jesus. Now, I was a little girl that was raised without religion. I never knew of God or the experience of anything other than myself. So, of course, I thought I was going crazy. And what the message told me was that you are the Christ, that we are the Christ. And the Christ consciousness is what we are awakening to. We are awakening to the consciousness of the Christ. And what is that? Love. There's no dogma behind that word, Christ. There's no misunderstanding. It just means love. And as we all awaken, we wake up in our own different ways. We wake up through our own challenges and our own despair and our own desire to know ourselves. Some of us wake up with the intention of manifesting things or mastering something. But at the end of the day, we're here to awaken to ourselves. And as we become more authentic and step into our birthright, which is our divine purpose, to bring light. That's why you're here. You're actually here to bring the very thing that you've had to hide your whole life. The essence of yourself that was looked negatively upon your entire existence is actually what you came here to teach others how to do. To be the weirdos. To be the unique ones. To be the ones that think completely different. That's what the awakening is waking up to the idea that we're supposed to be unique, even though we're all together. It isn't about community today. It's about being authentic in yourself. Being authentic in ourselves creates a holistic balance of body, mind, soul. It brings alignment to the paradigm of yin and yang. It balances out our darkness and our light. And as we bring balance to ourselves, then our bodies can contain more light. So the reason that I'm sharing this transmission with you guys today is because these are extremely critical times. And these are not joking times. These are extremely important times. If you're in this room, you're a volunteer. You signed up for this mission. You are the ground crew. You awakened first. In the next 7 years, there will be a viral awakening that will take place on this planet. And instead of it being a sickness, it will be the planet is waking up. And why am I doing this today is because the world needs you. You're the ones that are going to show the way to the new ones that are waking up. So your personal responsibility to who you came to be is so important right now, but here I am standing up here reminding you of it. That's how important you are. And it doesn't matter whether or not you can make a living at what you do. You just need to start being who you are. Because the frequency in your body of your authentic being is the catalyst for the entire planet to awaken. When you can become your truest self, then you act like a tuning fork for 750,000 people around you. That's how important you are. When you hide yourself or care what other people think of you, or don't take that leap of faith, or don't face that fear, you're only blocking your own light. You're slowing down the process of the planet waking up. But you're not unsupported. So 2012, we're all familiar with the great shift that happened. But that shift was getting itself ready for, 40, 50 years before that. The planet was getting itself acclimated, getting ready for a huge amount of light to be showered onto this planet. And in 2012, that officially happened. There was 51% positive energy on this planet for the first time in 300,000 years. That means 49% darkness. What was happening in your life in 2012? I can guarantee something special. Or not so special. We wake up in different ways. But that was the day, or the year, of the great shift. And as that has happened, we have been moving full stream ahead. Everybody feel that last ray of energy through the equinox? Who's still spinning from that? Basically, what is happening is the planet is becoming the Christ consciousness. The grids have been lied. The new children, the autism, the new gender that is being born on this planet is holding space for that great change. The new kids are the way, and we are the parents of those kids. So our job is to not just be here for them, but our job is to be here for us. Because they don't need you to teach them how to be on this planet. They need to teach you how to be on this planet. That's what they're here to do. Your body contains 12 helix of DNA to represent 12 star systems that have graciously given us genetic information to be on this planet. And as we ascend, right, we bring all of those 12 star systems together as one for the first time in galactic history. So your bodies, fully ascending into light, will change the dynamic of the entire universe. That's how important you are. So if you don't feel like you're that important, you might want to start looking in the mirror. Jesus said he was the Son of God. Well, in Sumerian, the word son means extension. You are an extension of God. They didn't send the Christ this time, they sent you. We are the second coming. It's our job. It's our job to walk as the Christ did. And just because we don't remember everything yet, doesn't mean we can't practice. And we can start with the person that's sitting next to us and love them no matter what. And love everyone who has ever harmed you, or talks behind your back, or has fired you, or has given you some sort of lesson that has challenged you. Because if we can read back about what the Christ did, is he actually loved them more. Because what is darkness? Absence of love. So our job as volunteers is to love the ones who don't know how to love themselves. We are the ones that are fully acclimated in the new energies and that we are ready to share light. Each of your bodies holds a different soul song, a different frequency that will shift the entire planet if you would just get in tune with yourself. You are the magic you seek. You are the teacher you seek. You are the healer that you seek. You have galactic wisdom in your DNA. And as the 12 helix of DNA begin to lighten up, they connect with the 12 chakras. And as that happens, your body will fully transmit into light. Now, depending on how long it takes you to fall madly in love with yourself depends on how fast you will ascend. It has nothing to do with anyone else other than how you feel about you. The more that you look at yourself as God, the faster you can share light with others. You're not here to rescue anyone except yourself. You're not here to walk another soul's journey. You're here to be of the Christ and to remind the planet what love is. That's why we have to start with ourselves. The message for today is, I know that your awakening over the last 4 years, 3 years, has been extremely difficult. You haven't had support. You haven't had your tribe around you. You haven't connected with your partnerships all the way. You haven't healed your bodies yet. You will. You absolutely will. If you can believe that you can. The planet is still all about free will. So I can stand up here, and other teachers can stand up here and tell you that you're God until you're blue in the face. But until you start to recognize your own aspect of God, you won't have the power that you need out of your own choice. It's so important right now for you to understand that disclosure has happened. Disclosure is here. And what disclosure means is that your star families are here on the planet to assist you. They might be invisible to you because your eyes still hold fear. When you release fear from your eyes, you will begin to see them. When you release fear from your ears, you will begin to hear them. And when you release fear from your heart, you will embody them. You came to be different. You came to suffer your first part of your life so that you could understand the human condition, that you could understand struggle, that you could understand pain, because from a Starseeds perspective, you would have no idea what that was if you didn't go through it yourself. What you got from that is you learned compassion. You needed compassion to fulfill your mission. And I know I'm sounding very Star Trek right now, but it is actually really like that. All the great movies have been channeled. As this energy starts to move faster and faster on the planet, you will feel two ways. You will feel supported or you will feel anxiety. Both of them are a choice. If you're feeling anxiety about the energy that is flowing through this planet right now, you still have fear in your heart. You don't know who you are. Because of 2012, it got a lot easier to be on this planet. And if it got harder for you, it's because you are resisting it. By next year, this planet is going to look completely different. Within 1 year's time, we will move a ton of fear out of our heart space. And everything is going to fast forward. But everything within you needs to be released. You need to let go of any idea of who you thought you were supposed to be when you came. You need to let go of the idea of the identity that was created for you when you got here and go back to the moment before your first 7-year cycle occurred and remember who you are, because that's actually what you came to be. How did you play? What did you play? Who were you? You need to reconnect with that child. And let that child guide you now into your divine purpose. You will be financially supported in that. Your star families on the planet are lining up all kinds of opportunities for you. The planet has been reborn. The planet is a fifth dimensional planet now. We are no longer a third dimensional planet. Anyone who hasn't acclimated to the new energy still holds the third dimensional energies in their body. That's where your pain is coming from. It has been, we've come from like a stagnant lake to a fast-moving river energetically on this planet now. Can you feel that? Can you feel the fast-moving energy? The new moons, the full moons, manifestation is happening faster. Who's being relived by their past the last 6 months? Mm-hmm. Whose past has been come back to show its ugly head? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you why. Because in order for us to really propel into the future as far as an evolutionary process that will take 2,000 years, we need momentum. We need speed. And because we have been living in the muck for a really, really long time on this planet, we need a catalyst. And what is the greatest catalyst that we could ever have? Pain, suffering. So right now, energetically, what is happening on the planet is it is the arrow effect. Right? First, we have to be pulled back into our pasts. Okay? So right here at my start point, right? 2012. I'm pulling back now, 2014, 2015, and I'm going to let go in 2016. So if you think this year went by fast, you wait till next year comes. The banking systems will begin to fall next year. But you will be divinely supported in that. The new systems are already in place. The new value system is already in place. If you have any inkling to be around farming or gardening or food manufacturing, please get involved with that ASAP. We need you. Agriculture, we need you. Because when the money goes, we're going to still need to eat. When the war is gone within here, the government will go. So if you're afraid of what's happening on CNN or the news, the greatest thing that you could do is turn off your TV and put a mirror in front of your TV and start looking in it. Because what you are afraid of outside of you is alive within you. That is the only place that's alive. Nothing can hurt you on this planet now. This planet is completely divinely full of light. We are 65% light on this planet now. And if you didn't get the memo, you need to start hanging around more positive people. You are so supported in grace at this time. This is the time to pursue your dreams. If you wanted to be a writer, or an actor, or a blogger, or an inventor, or a farmer, or a musician, this is the time to get that back going. Here's why. Just because you failed 2 years ago, you won't fail now. The energy is here to support you. The money is going to be there for you, or whatever form of abundance that you will need to carry out your task is here waiting for you. You can't fail again. Only if you don't believe in yourself. That is the only way that you could fail now. For the past year, I have been teaching life mastery and manifestation that has always come down to the basis of self-love. That is actually the only thing that we ever need to learn on this planet is who we are. And we study and we take courses and we take classes and we get healings, all for someone else to tell us who we are. When at the end of the day, we know who we are. Go back to that little child. That's who you are. That's what you've come for. That's your mission. Whatever is that urge within you, that's why you came. You didn't come to suffer, pay bills, and die. That's going to go too. But only when you're ready for it. Everybody's ascension is going to happen in their own unique time frame. The more you're afraid of something, the more you will have to deal with it. Because as the energy shifts on the planet, what you resist, you embody. Because the frequency of this planet is shifted tremendously, and the energy available to us is ridiculous. So if you have a fear, you better bet you're going to manifest it. Fifth dimensional energy is instant manifestation. Third dimensional energy, slow manifestation. Right? We had to use the moon cycle for that. We don't need that anymore. The more self-love you have, the faster you'll manifest what you want. The faster you'll heal your own bodies. You'll start to remember who you are. Look at that word, remember, put back together. It's time to remember who you are. You are the second coming. You are the volunteers that have the roughest job. You had your awakening before the energy shifted on the planet, so it felt like you weren't supported. It felt like you were misunderstood. It felt like you were alone. It's time to try again. Ask and it is given. It will happen fast. Pain in your body is very important for you to deal with this year. And here's why. Pain in your body is resistance of your authentic self. If you have pain in your body, you are resisting you. You are resisting the God within you. And that energy is so strong that it is trying to move through you and heal you, and you aren't allowing it. You created your own reality from the second you got onto this planet, and you've been creating it ever since. Unfortunately, when you start creating reality for your first 7 years, it begins to create patterns after that. So the trauma you experienced the first 7 years has now skyrocketed and become your life. So the emotions that are unhealed within you from the first 7 years of your life are now fully present in your life, manifesting in physical form, in the places of time, relationships, health, and money. That's where that 7-year trauma is affected right now. So if you're being affected by any of your first 7-year cycle manifestations, I would urge you to get some help with that. To look in the mirror, go back to that time, and let it go. Because you can't outrun yourself and you can't hide from yourself. The more light you become, the faster your shadows come to the surface. The more light you hold in your body, the less the absence of love can be there. Therefore, it will manifest very quickly in your face. All of your secrets will come to pass. And no one's going to judge you except you. You are your biggest critic. You are your only enemy. And you are the ones who are holding the resistance in your bodies. Stand with me. We're all somewhere on our path. There is no perfection. Honestly, if we were completely enlightened, none of us would be here. So any teachers that's standing up in front of you is still actively working through their journey. Humbly. Without fear. And it's what you do for your friends and family. Aren't you all life coaching your friends and family? Aren't you all the catalysts for someone in your life right now? Start helping yourselves. Because what's going to happen is they're going to take the ball and run. And what you don't heal, you will stay exactly where you are. And as the energy gets faster on this planet, it will get more intense. The anxiety levels will get higher. The manifestations will get stronger. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying all you got to do is let go. But I'm being called here to talk to you guys today because it is happening so quickly that we can get on and ride this current if we would just release resistance. Stop being anything other than who you are. And if you are not supported, it's time to find new people. It's time to find new work. It's time to fire up that passion and that hobby again. It's time to just be and let the current take you, because it will. When's the last time you felt so grateful that you cried? Hopefully every day. Good. That's what the new energy is going to feel like, by the way. That is you. That energy is called gamma. And it is the highest frequency of energy that this planet can hold in a fifth dimension. It is ecstasy, joy, passion, excitement, and love. That is who you really are. Nothing less. Nothing less than that. And there is gamma on this planet now, heavier than anything. And if you're not tapping into it and feeling it, it's because you're resisting it. What is disclosure? Here's where we're going to talk about aliens. Disclosure is all about our star families. This planet, the living library, the blades of grass, the crystals, the trees, your bodies, hold the energy and the blueprints for the entire universe. And we were on our way to failing. We were on our way to blowing ourselves up just like we did in Atlantis. That's when the Christ consciousness stepped in and said, all right, we're going to help you guys out. We're going to see if you guys can wake up with some light. And that's exactly what's happening. You are not the you that you think you are. The soul that resonates with your body is more powerful than 10 suns. You are completely unlimited superheroes in physical form. And what's going to be starting to transcend over the next 5 years is the more darkness you let go, the more abilities that are going to be born within you. I got a list downloaded of superhuman abilities that are going to be given birth to on this planet in the next 10 years. We're going to be like real, live superheroes in the next 10 years, and our kids are already showing up that way. If we would just learn how to feed them and nurture them correctly, they would be able to move into that. What does that mean? Clairaudio, clairsentient, right? Clairvoyance, telepathic. These are just the beginnings. Each one of you will be given something very unique to use in accordance to your divine purpose if you would just accept it. Stop thinking of yourself as the freak, of the weirdo, of the misfit, of the one that doesn't fit in. Because if we pay lots of money to go watch superheroes be exactly that, we have this feeling within us that I could do that, right? How many of you jumped off your roof when you were a little kid because you knew you could fly? At least one of you. There's a resonance within you who knows that you are great, but you keep denying it based on what you see around you or what people keep saying around you. Well, I will tell you that darkness chases light. So the more light you hold, the stronger you have to be. Because the bigger light you bring, the more it attracts the opposite. It's a challenge. And it isn't because you're not great or wonderful or fabulous. It is because you are shining so brightly that it scares others. Literally, it scares the death out of them. And here's why. There is no such thing as evil. It is just absence of love. And if you've ever been in a really dark place and been around someone really loving, they drive you crazy. Right? Well, that's you now. You're the Pollyanna. You're the positive energy. You're going to repel people or inspire people, and there's no in between. But that's okay. Because when you give up how other people think about you, you will excel with the new energy. If you will let go of other people's perspective of who they think you should be, you will propel in the new energies. You will be so divinely supported that by the time you look up, your life will be completely different. you will be living your maximum purpose, completely divinely supported in abundance. Because the universe only knows abundance. If you don't have what you need, you're abundant in that. If you're sick, you're abundant in that. Because the universe only knows abundance. It is giving us everything that we need to fully create heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is authentic love. It's when we judge ourselves and we put ourselves in a cage and we put ourselves in a box that it feels like hell on earth, right? We've all lived there. Doesn't feel good. But there's a lot of people on this planet that live there and will continue to live there, and that's okay. A third of this planet will wake up. A third of this planet will leave. If you have lost someone, it is because they have been asked to work on the other side of the veil for this project. The other side of the screen, energetically. Because it isn't just us down here as ground crew, volunteers that are working on the shift, but the ones that we've lost are working on the other side of the veil with us. Because this is a really big project. This has never been done before. Ascending from such a dark place has never successfully worked before. And we're winning. We won. The body is everything right now. The body is where the old energy is still stored. The body is where all the fear is still located. It is the most important thing that you could do for the next 6 months is fall madly in love with your body and begin to take care of it. Talk to it. It really wants to hear from you. Your cells are very much alive, awaiting your command. And because you haven't been allowed to be yourself, they cannot be themselves. They cannot be the blueprint that you came here to create. They don't want to be sick. They don't want to be slow, and they don't want to be tired. Because the signals that they're getting from the cosmic energy is that I am unlimited. The signals that they're getting from spirit is I am God. And the signals that they're getting from you is I am not God, and I'm weak, and I don't have what I need, and I don't know how to help myself. So there's a very big war going on within you. You are the micro of the macro. What is happening on this planet is happening within your own body. And as a volunteer, I know personally I have said, how can one person help the world? But what if I just looked at the universe as if I was looking at my own cells, and I started to take full responsibility of my body for the first time in my life? And I started to feed it what it needs to be alive. When I started to feed it what it needs to raise its own frequency and vibration, started to give it adequate sunlight and good quality water, that will speed up your ascension by years. Years. 6 months of concentrated work on the body will guarantee you ascension very quickly. All you have to do is give yourself the rest of this year to just look within. Make yourself the most important person in your entire universe. Everything you've ever wanted, please give it to yourself. Because this planet is all about frequency. And as frequency rises on the planet, you have to rise your frequency as well. Your personal body's frequency. Because this is your spiritual suit. You're not going to be able to ascend without the body. The DNA that is contained into your body works with the nervous system. The nervous system is connected to the spine is connected to the brain is connected to the universe. It is a central multidimensional command system that is constantly receiving information from the cosmos down into the deep core of the earth. And if you're afraid, you're not getting the messages. And if you're in pain, you're not getting the messages. So I'm urging you all to take personal responsibility for the next 6 months and heal your bodies. And the next 6 months to learn to trust yourselves. Start asking yourselves your own opinions. Start asking yourself, what's the best way for me to heal? Ask yourselves, what should I do for a living? Start asking yourselves, how should I play today? Because I will tell you that the way to ascension is through play. And you can't play with a sick body. And you can't play at a job you hate. And you can't play with people around you who don't understand you. The true definition of enlightenment is to lighten up. So this information is kind of heavy, but at the same time, it's so beautifully simple. If we would invest in ourselves what we invest in everyone else around us, we would transcend so quickly. A year ago, almost today, Susie and I opened up Transcendence. No clue how to do this. No idea what the heck we were doing. But I remember sitting down to write my mission statement for something I've never done before, and 3 words came to my mind. And the first one was awaken. And the next one was integrate. And the third one was transcend. And that is basically what these last 3 years have been. We're awakening and we are integrating pieces of ourselves. Lost pieces, childhood trauma, past life energies. We're bringing everything back into wholeness. We're bringing everything back into love. And through that, we can transcend and transcend into heaven on earth. Because I will tell you that the 5th dimension is pretty awesome. It's all love and light. It's what people take the good drugs to experience. That's what life will be like. Your loved ones that you lost will be right there with you. Your bodies will be fully healed. All you'll feel is that grateful, loving energy that brings tears to your eyes every day. That's what ascension is going to feel like. It will no longer be me, it will be we, because we are all connected. And although we are a unique piece of the puzzle that fit perfectly in the whole, we are still very important in our own unique potential. But really, why I'm asking you to heal your bodies and to heal your social situations and heal your issues with money and time is because your piece of the puzzle doesn't fit right now. Because you've bent it out of shape to be what someone else needed you to be. You have shifted your puzzle piece so that you're what mom and dad need, or your office needs, or your children need. And you will not fit perfectly into that puzzle until you go back into authenticity. The planet has everything that we need on it right now to win, to succeed. When you start trusting within yourself that you are God, then what is going to happen is going to be so beautiful. People and places and circumstances and events will begin to flood into your reality to show you exactly how simple it's going to be. The universe is not cruel, and it is not difficult. We are the ones that make everything so difficult. It's okay that you've experienced pain. It's okay that you had a crappy childhood. It's okay that you had horrible relationships or having them. It's okay. It made you strong. It made you who you are, and it's time to let it go. It's time to use it as your strength to who you are becoming, because you don't create what you want, you create what you are. The more you want, the less you can have. Being who you need to be will bring you everything you need. It will bring you the healing. It will bring you the abundance. It will bring you the support. It will bring you the relationships. And the time that you need to be able to play. How much of your day is spent in joy? Think about it. 5%? 10%? It should be at least 65% because that's what the planet is. So what do you need to let go right now in your life to make space for joy? Who do you need to let go of? Karsten? How do you need to let go of it? The only thing that you're afraid of is what? At this point. The reason I'm sharing all of this with you is to let you know how supported you are now. The last workshop that I taught, Master Manifestation, was 2 months ago. The energy wasn't here yet. The energy is here now. This last equinox has shifted the whole planet's energy. We can have anything we want now, as long as it is within what we need for ourselves, our true purpose. We will be completely supported in any effort we take now. But it's time to reopen that door that closed on you last time. It's time for you to go one more time and say, I choose me. And believe in yourself just enough to get into the current and let the energy carry you to heaven. Because that is where we're going. And we need you to know this more than ever, because you're the ones who are going to be the way showers. You're the teachers. You're the leaders. You're the healers. You are the permissionalists. By you giving yourself permission, you give others permission. And it's okay if people hate you for being light. They will soon shift too. It's okay. It's okay to be alone right now. Get us. You can't go anywhere without meeting weirdos like us anymore. We're coming in numbers. And as this viral awakening occurs, it's going to be out of control. People are going to come from everywhere and ask for your help. They're going to know that you know how to do this. You know why? Because they can feel your frequency. They are going to know that you're going to be their teacher. So you will find yourself leading and teaching in some capacity. Go with it. Whatever it is. Just let that divine, authentic purpose be born within you for the first time, and watch how you are celebrated for it now. You will no longer be crucified for being a healer. Let that idea go. You will no longer be a poor practitioner. Let that go. Volunteers are not just here to show people how to heal their bodies. They're actually here to heal everything. Show people how to heal everything. Not just the body. But I will tell you that the body is the most important thing for the next 6 months for you to focus on. Understand that everything comes from an emotional point first. Disease is not in the body. It is created from emotional suppression. What you suppress owns you. So your first 7-year cycle of life, whatever happened to you, is still happening in your body. If you were neglected, your body's neglected. If you weren't seen or heard, have you looked in the mirror lately? Are you listening to you? And if you weren't loved, are you hurting yourself? How are you self-abusing right now? My thymus is going crazy right now. All right. I want to open it up for questions. This is where, who knows where the answers will come from. Nothing is off limits. We can talk about anything and everything. We're one big family today. There will absolutely no judgment in any perspective that you hold. I don't care if you ask questions about aliens or energy or bodies or time or space. If I have the energy to give it to you, I will channel whatever we can. So who has a question or who has something that they're going through that feels like it's hard to shift from? Yes.
Well, I don't know how to word it right.
Okay.
Everything for me comes from a psychological perspective, and this new information and ideas about incarnating on purpose and choosing and soul contracting and so on and so forth, I just recently started struggling with the abuse factor, and I made jokes in the past. I must have been a terrible person in a previous life. And then all of a sudden, weeks ago, it kind of hit me, wow, that's a really negative thought to have, but I'm struggling with the choosing a really traumatic childhood, because later on in this life, when we come across abused children, we never ever blame them or consider them at fault for the abuse that happened to them.
Right.
But if I'm going to go with the idea that I ultimately chose my childhood and then have the joke, oh, I must have been a terrible person, it sort of feels like, oh, it is still my fault. It is something to be blamed for. Could you speak on that a little bit if you understand where I'm coming
Absolutely. I was an abused child too, so I know all about those feelings. So let me just tell you this. Guilt, shame, fear, right? Those feelings hide the truth. So when we're carrying guilt, shame, fear in our vibration, we can't see the truth of our own selves. Because those are the lowest frequencies, therefore there's no light available in those energies. So yes, you absolutely chose it, just like I did. And a reason why you would choose something like that is to learn how to heal it. Learn how to love it. So let me tell you, you're all starseeds. And what is a starseed? A starseed is a being who has not been on planet Earth for the last 300,000 years, playing a karma out. A being that has been on this planet playing karma out doesn't think cruelty is a big deal. Thinks child abuse is just how you raise kids. Okay? War is just in their bloodline. From a starseed's perspective, we don't understand any of that. We hold the vibration of a higher sixth-dimensional plane, most of us, in our bodies. So when we come to Earth, it is a real shock. Okay? It is not just a shock to our Akashic records, our bodies. It's a shock to our soul's being. It's a shock to everything that we hold as our own knowing of the universe. And we forget who we are. But you absolutely chose that, and here's why. Everyone comes in with soul purposes, right? A theme and soul contracts. Your theme aligns with your soul song. What are you here to learn? Because Earth is a holographic school. To remember that you are God. Your greatest awakenings and truths have come from your greatest struggles, yes? So, if I'm a perfect being of light that incarnates on a planet born to perfect parents, I would hold no desire for change. I would hold no desire to teach other people how to heal. I would not get on my purpose. So if you came in and your theme is self-love, then you're going to be born into the absence of that. And you are going to be shown what the absence of love looks like, so that you could remember who you were. If a soul came in to learn self-love and they were born into a loving family, they would never fulfill their prophecy. Because desire is what changes your life. If you have what you need, do you shift? Let's talk about those ruts you've been in for the last few years where nothing shifted at all. When do you change things? When it gets hard and you get sick of it and it hurts really bad. That's when the soul says, enough. And abuse is there for us to learn who we are, because sometimes it smacks us awake. And if you've been abused, then part of your purpose is to help others who have been abused. Compassion. Compassion is what our childhood have taught us. If we were under-nurtured, then we have a tendency to over-nurture, don't we? Let's look at our entitlement generation. That's coming from over-nurtured children because we were under-nurtured. We're trying to balance it out. So my abuse that I went through for 18 years basically taught me how to love everyone. And then I had to learn to love myself. I wouldn't take that back for a moment because I would not have awakened otherwise. I would not have gotten so tired of my life that I made a change. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Did that answer your question?
Yep.
Yes.
Yesterday I experienced something I hadn't experienced in ever. I've been on a year-long journey, and yesterday I brought in my parts from past lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an urge to learn from them, but I'm not sure the next step to do that.
Learn about your past lives?
Learn about the parts that came from my past lives that are now here. Like I am now, it's we as one is what I feel.
So all the different experiences that you've held.
Yes.
Because there's no different you.
Right.
There's just different experiences that you've had. And so how is that going to serve you? How is it going to serve you?
I assume it's just going to make me stronger because the experiences are coming from the same fears, the same beliefs. They're just different experiences, so it's just going to give me more of what I don't resonate with.
So learning about your past lives will help you cope with the now. Okay? So does that feel exciting?
I think I'm still in some shock right now.
Okay, so what is shock?
What comes before exciting is, I think.
Are you afraid?
No?
So shock is anxiety?
A little bit.
So let's look at the energy of anxiety. Who else here is anxious? Not today maybe, but normally?
I am anxious.
So anxiety is excitement filtered through fear. So you're excited.
Yes.
But you're afraid to be excited about knowing yourself. Because you might figure out you're God. Right?
Doesn't sound so bad when she says it like that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I just brought in all that stuff, but yeah, I mean, to do that, clearly.
Give yourselves a break when you're anxious, guys.
Can we celebrate her bringing in all her past lives to her consciousness? Doesn't that just seem like
Anxiety is just filtered fear that wants to be excitement. Because your soul is always excited. Have you noticed that when your kids or the kids that you're around, they're doing something for the first time, how excited they are? Do you know that that's your natural presence? That feeling of before Christmas morning, that's actually who you really are? You can feel like that every day without drugs. Trust me. All you have to do is when you're feeling anxiety, say, well, my higher self is actually really wanting to be excited right now. What am I not letting in? What am I not letting in? Because my higher self is obviously excited if I'm anxious, and here's why you empaths walk into a room and have a panic attack. Because you're a healer. And you're afraid to heal someone that needs a healing in the room. Your soul got excited when you walked in that room and all those people needed a healing, and it felt like a panic attack. Because you're afraid to go put your hands on somebody because you don't trust yourselves. So all you have to do is walk in and go, okay, I'm anxious. That actually means I'm excited. Who in here needs a healing? You. I'm going to flow some loving energy to them. I'm going to feel all gooey inside. We'll walk away. No conversation needed. Watch how fast your anxiety turns into excitement. Because if you're having anxiety, it's for a reason. The soul is excited about something. Who's next? We're on a roll now. Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what is your feeling on disease? And
Oh, my favorite.
is that something that we just eventually have to deal with because our bodies are getting old, or can we get out of this without having disease?
Great
or-
question. Great question. So, no, our bodies are not getting old. So the human body was actually designed to live thousands of years when it was genetically put together. Fear, right? Lack of understanding higher energies or frequencies, or lack of joy in the life destroys the human body. So you want an anti-aging pill? Find joy. You want to stop aging completely? Start meditating. Disease is dis-ease. It's a malfunction of the nervous system. The body, the brain, they're not communicating to each other. Therefore, there's some dislike going on. There's some dislike of you. There's some self-judgment of you. There's some separation from you going on, and source energy cannot heal your body. You're not allowing it. So the nervous system gets compromised, the immune system turns off, the stomach stops digesting properly, the thyroid has to work too hard, the adrenal glands sprint out of control, and disease sets in. That's all that's happening, is a detachment of you and your higher self. You spend too much time in your ego judging yourself. Judgment of the self causes disease. That's it. And what is judgment? I hear this all the time. What is judgment? It's you making a decision whether something's right or wrong. And if someone has been telling you you're wrong your whole life, then you've actually been saying that to yourself. And the soul does not like that. And it will send you a pain signal to let you know that doesn't feel good to me. When you're in joy, appreciation, freedom and love and excitement, passion, you're feeling alive. Your body's going to heal like that. That's why I asked you, how much time are you spending in joy every day? Because if it's less than 50%, I can guarantee you your bodies aren't working the way they need to work for you. They're not showing up for you. They're not being magical. They're not being the superhero that you need. It's very simple. Find the frequency of joy, passion, and love, and spend a lot of time, even if it's in delusion every day, and watch how fast your bodies heal. Watch disease disappear. Watch everything get back working the way it should have been. Because really, the way that we look at ourselves dictates our health. It's not genetic. It's not our age. It's not anything other than how we see ourselves. And when you've been taught for a really long time that you're not good enough, or something's wrong with you, you start to believe it. And you subconsciously communicate that to every cell of your body, and it begins to act just like that, doesn't it? It starts to not be good enough. It starts to age, and it starts to die. But again, it's from our command, because the voice that we carry is the voice of God. When we speak, the cells of your body believe that God is speaking directly to them. I am is the strongest attention. When was the last time you said, I am sick, I am broke, I am not good enough? You are sending a signal so magnificent that it can shift planets. And you're saying that to yourselves. So disease can be transcended with self-love, self-nurturing. The body is saying, please make me the star of the show. Please make me the most important person in the universe. Just for a while. Did that answer your question? Does anyone have any other questions? Ready?
So let's go a little bit timeline here. About 2012 was when my body started feeling pain, and I'm not someone who feels pain. My body was probably in the best shape she had ever been in at 40. So, you know my dad died 3 months ago. So what is happening to me is that my whole right side, it's all on the right side of my body. Anything that I'm feeling. I actually felt his liver cancer before, probably about a year before he was even diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I ask myself, you know, what I need to do to heal that, I go back to what you said about before you're 7, okay? And I can't, I'm completely blocked there with happy memories of childhood. Like I really am. Like I don't see, I know that there was. I know that there was, that I was a beautiful child. I know that I had these visions of things. Me like a little bitty, like I was little, I would make myself really little and like it was kind of like a spaceship. I would fly through these cornfields and I would see these things like that.
Yes.
But I don't have, and I never shared that with anybody, but I can't bring up these joyful memories of my childhood before 7.
Can I share about you?
Sure.
Okay. So you are what's called a triple threat. You are an indigo, starseed, and prism. And you have a ton of spiritual abilities that you are in resistance of. Okay? And when you open up, you are going to explode. And you're resisting because you're worried about some essence of your family being scared of what you're about to be. And that's why you don't remember 0 to 7 is because that's exactly who you were. And it scared those around you. And so you decided that their opinion was more important than your essence. And you shut it down. But you can't block it forever. And the older that you get and the call gets stronger on the planet, you feel the call.
Oh yeah.
It's saying, let go or be dragged.
Yeah.
It's time to literally surrender. Stop thinking what your husband's going to think or your future husband's going to think. Stop worrying about what your kids are going to do when this
I think
happens.
it's my mother.
Whoever. And I would look at the husband a little bit clearer. Because right now you're feeling
My
your current,
future husband or
the
my
one,
husband
the one
that
you're
passed
engaged
away?
to, the one you're
Okay.
engaged to. Because right now there's even playing ground, and you're about to just explode, and you're afraid of going without him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's where it is.
Okay.
So when you let go, all of the pain will just go away, and the empathy that you're feeling for others won't feel like pain. It will feel like, I know exactly what to do in this moment. Because you empaths that are feeling pain, it's because you're in resistance of helping people.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
it. It's not, there's no victims on the planet. It isn't about, oh, I'm an empath, I can't go outside. No, I'm an empath, who can I help? Right? You don't need to take on anybody's stuff. You just need to show up and give them what they need, and guess what they need? Love. That's it. Somebody just needs a hug. Imagine that your body's frequency, the North Star, is powerful, is God. Imagine getting a hug from God. What would that feel like? Especially to someone who didn't remember who they were. You could have them have a spontaneous awakening by giving them a hug. So my advice is stop being afraid of your own power, because you are going to blow yourself away in the next 6 months. Just surrender. Just let go of all the ideas of status or anything that you thought of, because you'll have all of that, but it will be from a completely new playing ground. You're here to be a really important leader, like really important leader, and therefore the pain that you feel in your body is resistance to that role. So the reason that you can't remember 7 is because you were fully walking in that beingness and scared people, and you're afraid to do that again. Did that help?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, you're next. Sorry.
Sensory nerves overload,
Yes.
does that,
Welcome to my world.
how do you get control of it?
You can meditate. Stop being afraid of it. Okay? You need to ground yourself several times a day. You need to get off processed food.
Working on it?
Okay? You need to drink more clean water.
Okay.
And you need to start projecting your energy somewhere. So are you doing anything that you love doing right now?
I started writing.
Good. Start projecting all of that extrasensory energy into your writing because it needs a place to go. So multisensory or multidimensional aspects, they need homes. You need to be giving that energy to something. Because otherwise, you're going through life, you're not doing what you want to do, and it's just feeling like it's a short circuit everywhere.
Yeah.
So projecting it into something. I mean, when you hug someone, hug them. When you write something, write it. When you talk to someone, give all to yourself. Okay? And what that will start to do is it will start to bring that extrasensory energy into balance, and you will start doing things that are going to blow your mind. Because right now, your energy is going everywhere, and so you're really good at a lot of different things, but you aren't sure what you want to do because you haven't focused it yet. So it's like that superpower, it needs to be focused. So you can literally just imagine from your solar plexus sending all of that energy out to something. And practice that, and you'll start to acclimate to yourself, okay? And whoever is around you who doesn't let you not to be who you need to be, you need to spend less time with them.
I think that's the problem, so.
Okay, good.
It's a good thing.
Good.
No. It's my sister.
Well, are they gone now?
Dude, yeah, there's nobody really that I really kind of that person that just really doesn't care what people think.
On the surface, you don't.
As much as
Underneath-
I can.
Underneath is a different story. Underneath, that desire to be loved for who you are is extremely powerful, and therefore there's judgment there. So just, even though on the surface you've aligned yourself with people that you love and that love you for who you are, underneath, it's all about how you see about yourself. You're the last piece of the puzzle, self-love. So you're here to tell your story. You have a story, don't you?
Yeah.
You need to tell it. You have to tell that story. Sorry.
It's okay.
That story is really important. It's going to help change people's lives. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to get a tissue.
Sister, made me cry.
Who else? Karsten?
Who are the Jedi Knights?
You? Yes.
Okay, just in regards to what you were just saying to her, okay, so her beliefs are, I've gotten rid of them, it doesn't affect me or whatnot, but you just said underneath down. How do you make that true to yourself of the getting rid of the thought process there?
Telling her story is going to be therapy that she needs to heal herself. But it's also going to heal hundreds of thousands of people. So the thing that she's resisting about herself is the thing that's actually going to be the catalyst for her spiritual extension.
But I think we all feel that, where we can say, well, we don't believe that, we're not in judgment, we're not doing that, but we still are kind of holding on to that really deep inside of that belief system.
Well, it's how you feel about yourself. So on the surface, you could say, I'm strong, I know what's going on, but underneath tells a completely different story. The subconscious aspect of you, your unhealed inner child. Your unhealed inner child is really needing some love and some attention and some healing. So playing, spending more time in joy, right? Writing, being in therapy, being in nature is a big one for you. Okay? Direct sunlight without your glasses for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Like in the morning before the sun gets too strong.
Right.
Because information is going to be coming to you through the solar flares to your eyes. You'll have a lot of Syrian energy. So that energy is going to be all about teaching and receiving information. You're going to be giving information. You're going to be giving tools for the new world. Okay? Anybody else?
I can remember up until I was 7 who I was.
Mm-hmm.
But between 7 and 2008, wasn't myself.
No.
Then I lost that.
Mm-hmm.
I lost that within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to get it back.
Well, this is going to be a challenge for you only because there's a part of you that doesn't want to heal from this. Okay? There's a part of you that doesn't want to let go of that. And there's a part of you that is needing to mourn. And really, joy is the only thing that's going to get you back to that point and play. And so what do you do that feels like play? Is there anything that you would like to do?
Well, I love to be around the ocean and the beach.
So why the heck are you here?
Ocean and beach still.
That's what I mean. Is if our highest joy is going to be to move toward the beach, then if I were you, I would buy a one-way ticket and I would go. Because the thing is when you can spend time in joy or around something that brings you joy, then other aspects of joy will begin to build your life. But you have to be the one that pulls the trigger. If you sit here and wait, it will never come. This is action time. This is the river moving very quickly. This is that double dutch game that you're supposed to jump into now, and as you jump in, the momentum will carry you. But if you don't take the first action step and say, I'm good enough to experience joy, don't worry about leaving what was here. It will come with you. I know you have grandchildren. They will come with you, and you know what? They will come visit you. But if sitting on the beach, listening to the waves, you have a lot of Atlantean energy, you're going to do better by the ocean. It's going to heal your soul. You have been stuck in a karmic cycle of loss. Several lifetimes of loss. This is the lifetime to break that, and the ocean can help you heal that. Because your highest joy is also your divine purpose. And all your job this whole lifetime is to feel love and joy. You don't have to go work, you don't have to go do anything except hold that frequency in your body. And if the ocean gives you that, then I would be there. Right, Susie?
Yes.
Susie wants to be there too. Did that help?
Can I add to hers?
Yeah.
What if she was in a situation where she, that was her calling, is to be by the ocean or to travel, and let's say that either her funds or her family situation didn't necessarily allow for that to be feasible at this moment. Would she just do as much as she could around dreaming about the ocean, like listening to, like what would she do in that case?
Well, in her case, that's not the case.
Okay.
So if that were your case, I would say if your highest joy was to be on the beach, right, and you had a family here or you didn't have the funds, then all you would have to do is sit for, 3 days and with an intention, say this is what I want and this is what I need, and it would show up. Because the energy is here now. There's no lack. But you're not asking in the right way. If there is something that you're needing and wanting, you can have it now. There's no one that's going to take anything away from you. Have you noticed that everything is always working out for you? It always will, but especially now, the current is going and the current is abundance. So all you have to say is, okay, so in 3 weeks, I'm going to buy a ticket, don't know how I'm going to get the ticket, and I am going to go take a one-way trip, and I am going to go start my joy and happiness. Universe, show up for me. And you didn't counter-intend that with, oh, I'm not good enough, right? All of a sudden, someone would be like, hey, I got an extra ticket. And you would be there, because that is what's happening on the planet now. The opportunity is available for everyone. But the reason that I'm saying take the next 6 months and work on your bodies is because your bodies will hold you back, because that's where the subconscious trauma is. Of I'm not good enough, I can't have what I want, I'm a weirdo. The body is still holding all that information, and so it's stopping your manifestations from moving fast. And you know what that feels like? Physical pain. Right? Your first 3 seconds are your intuition. How many of you guys are trusting your gut the first 3 seconds? That's why I look so crazy all the time. Because when it comes up, right, gut, as soon as it starts to move up, it turns into logic. I want to go to the beach. Oh, I can't afford it. I'm supposed to be at the beach. Oh, I got grandkids. Don't you think they would want to go to the beach? Don't you think that they should enjoy that?
Well, finances do come in.
Finances.
But joy creates waves. Joy is the current of all abundance. You will be surprised if you would just allow yourself to move into joy, how all of your problems would take care of themselves. Because as we're waking all up and moving into this higher level of consciousness, we want to help each other even more. Like, just as much as we want to be helped, we want to give right now. It's like, oh my God, who can I give this pair of shoes to? Who can I, right? You're all feeling it. So what she's needing and wanting, one of you has to offer. That's where community is going to come into play. You don't need to do everything. All you actually have to do is spend time in joy, and the universe will take care of everything, including your body. But if you can't feel joy, I will tell you that part of it is because your body is in mourning, it's in grief, it's in fear, it's in guilt, and it is in shame. And those energies will not let you move, because that's what you actually need to heal in order to ascend. That's what we call the shadow. What are you guilty for? The first 7 years you were taught not to be yourself. You don't think you were going to not make mistakes, right? The first 7 years you were taught not to be you. So the next 25 years you spent making mistakes because you learned how to be something you weren't. If you were able to be authentic the first 7 years, you would be a genius right now. You would be at the top of your game. You would be considered great. If you look at everybody on the planet who is doing well by the time they're 30, it's because they had a good childhood. Literally. And if you didn't, all you have to do is go, okay, well, I need to heal those first 7 years. Right? You can heal a lot of your 7-year cycle now with the new energy through the body. Right? Giving it really good nutrients, feeding it, nourishing it, loving it, putting your hands on yourself when you're hurt. You guys ever notice that? When you're hurt, what's the first thing you do is you grab yourself. Do you know that's your intuition saying that I'm a healer? I teach my kids to do that. Instead of mommy touching it and kissing it, touch yourself. Feel the loving, healing energy move through you, to you, from you. Self-nurturing. You can have anything you want, but you have to give it to you. Meaning, if you had to take your last $20 and thumb it to Florida, I can promise you, if you had enough faith and you let go of enough fear to get there, you would live like a queen. That's what the energy is like now. But we have to let go of that fear. It is literally the quintessential trapeze, where at some point we have to let go and hope that someone is going to catch us. And I can guarantee you, if you had self-love and confidence, you would be like, yeah, somebody's going to be there. And guess who it is? It's you. But it might be you in another form. It might be the you next to you. Because all we are is one big reflection of the all, of the one, the I am. Anybody have any other questions? Bring this out.
In following your joy, it gets there's an anxiety behind it for me, because I know the focus is creation, but I love creating in all aspects. So it's like, I want to paint, I want to draw, I want to write, I want to do this and that, and then I'm like, I don't have time, oh my gosh, and then I get so anxious about it.
So time is a wound.
Yeah.
Okay? So when we have issues with our time management and where to put our focus and our energy, it's coming from some underlying fear of if we were able to focus on one thing and it wasn't good enough, what would happen to us? Okay? So time has a lot to do with nurturing, right? Self-nurturing. I know you got little ones. one of the things for you too is people around you being affected by your joy. Right? The higher joy you become, the less joyful others are around you. Right? And that has a tendency that when we move into our authentic light, the ones that we were in partnerships and relationships before have a tendency to help pull us back into that, and therefore we feel like we don't have enough time to do everything, but we're technically holding ourselves back from our greatness because we don't really want to hurt others. So I would pick the thing that brings you the most joy and excitement in the moment and do that. And if that gets boring, the next thing that's exciting and do that, and do that, and do that, and do that. And by the time 2 weeks will go by, you'll finish 4 projects. But you do not have to focus on one thing because you're multidimensional. Okay? Your energy comes from the Pleiadians. Pleiadians are all about multitasking.
Right, I'm very good at that.
So do that, but do it until it's exciting, and then because you're an artist, you need inspiration in order to complete projects. So as an artist, the energy that you're going to be doing is different than an analytical artist, which is plan A to plan to C. You're going to need to put your energy in lots of different places when you get this spark of inspiration, and then you will have a completed project. Because you are another triple threat. You're going to be bringing tone and sound with your music into healing the planet. So you need to, when you're motivated to sing or write, you need to do that. When you're motivated to coach, do that. When you're motivated to play with your kids, do that. When you're motivated to go exercise, do that. And don't have any rules for time. And stop worrying about what anybody else thinks because it will hold you back. Anybody else? Say it, say it. You want to say it. I feel it. Someone else can say it.
You know, I have something.
Yeah.
I've had some really odd but neat things happen to me lately.
Yeah.
Like was it seven different snakes coming near me.
Oh, goody.
Startled me so much that I pulled my back out.
Oh, goody.
And then my name being wrote backwards on my, which sounds very odd, but it's the truth. Backwards on my bathroom mirror.
Okay.
My son waking me up and saying, "Mom, wrote your, what you put writing all over the bathroom mirror?" And I'm like, "No." And then I thought the kids were playing a joke on me. And then we're looking at it, and it's my name, the original spelling that nobody really knows. And it's had some crazy things happen to me.
Let me ask you this. What did those events bring up in you?
My mom.
Okay. And what was the emotion that came up?
Probably, she is around me. But she's
But
passed over.
what was the feeling? Was it fear, anxiety? What was the feeling or the emotion that came with the event of seeing your name?
Well, it scared the crap out of me, to be quite honest. It did.
So it brought a fear. So what your guidance is telling you right now is you got some old fear in there, right? And whenever we see snakes, it represents reptilian energy. Reptilian energy is who we're playing this whole big game against, right? So you're an indigo, right? You don't like authority and you don't like...
I don't like it.
Right?
I don't like it.
So therefore... Right now, you're starting to see the things that are your darkest fears so you can transcend them into light. So make friends with snakes.
Yes. Well, I don't mind them, but I don't want them crawling next to me on the ground. They're as big as my arm.
Well, I would sit in meditation and ask your guidance to come in. You are really, 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 really close to clairvoyance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're starting to see.
Yeah.
Okay? So I would sit with myself and say, what am I afraid to see? And write it first thing that comes to mind. What am I afraid to see? And write down what first thing that comes to mind. If you guys are having ringing in the ears, who is? Ah! They're trying to talk to you. Please let them in. They have really awesome things to say. I would write down, what am I afraid to hear? First thing that comes to mind. What am I afraid to hear? First thing that comes to mind. And just let yourself write, because the ringing is trying to get that frequency acclimated so that they can start communicating to you. That's how all that ringing in the ear is. Buzzing. Who's feeling wavy? Anybody? Oh, goody. Yeah, that is the veil is coming down, right? So as soon as you have less fear in your body, you're going to see in between worlds. Do you know the only thing that's keeping you from seeing the fairy realm and the angelic realm and Bigfoot and all these other realms is fear and judgment? And you know why? The first 7 years, someone made it not okay for you to see things or hear things. Because kids coming in are completely psychic until like the age of 4. Until the hammer comes down on, don't do that, don't be that, don't say that, don't feel that. So you shut it down because, you know, you gotta eat and you gotta be in the family, you know, so you don't want to be different. And you start comparing yourself to everybody else and you go, I'm the weirdo, something's wrong with me. So again, this is the time to let go of judgment and fear, because I'm going to tell you, when all these abilities come in, it's not going to be scary. You're not going to see demons. Demons are not allowed on this planet anymore. Right? Too much light. There's too much light on this planet for there to be any sort of dark energy that could get into your vibration unless you were in fear. When you're down here in fear, that's when you're going to see the yucky stuff. When you're up here is when you're going to see all the fun stuff. Does that make sense? And if you're starting to see things like written on your mirror, I don't think the message gets more clear than that.
Right. And then, you know, like I started researching for some reason about shamans.
There you
The
go.
next day I know I meet this girl, her name is Stephanie Ann, exactly like mine, and she's a shaman. And then her card's popping up everywhere.
Hello!
I'm like, I mean, how
So,
many more?
what is Spirit saying you should be studying right now?
Yeah, no,
Hello? Weren't you involved in vitamins?
Oh, I'm big time into all that
We
stuff.
need to bring the ancient medicine back. Someone's got to do that. Step into your role.
Well, that really kind of weird because I used to really get it when I did a past life. I was an Indian woman.
You've been a medicine woman many times.
I'm all into herbs and.
Of course you are.
I'm all into all
Of course you are.
So,
What you love and service of others is divine purpose. What you love and service to others is divine purpose.
actually researched and found out that, you know, the old way of doing, you know, becoming a shaman is, you know, near-death experience or struck by lightning. And I'm like, I don't do those.
Well, I
And then
think
she-
honestly the thing you're in resistance of is the reptilian energy,
Okay.
because you had a contract with them. But we'll do a session.
Okay.
Okay. You don't need to be afraid of them. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Can I just say one?
Yeah.
I've had butterflies around me.
Yay!
I know. Yeah.
Your transformation.
That's what I thought.
Of course.
I've had butterflies
They
around
land,
me.
they fall.
Like, it's like ladybugs and butterflies. Your turn.
Yes. Please start writing all these things down. Has anybody taken my manifestation workshop? Okay, so in that manifestation workshop, I teach you guys to keep a proof journal of every synchronicity that happens. And the reason why is you will be surprised at what's coming through you. But because your lives are so busy and stressful and you're not spending enough time and joy, you forget those little aha moments or those little synchronicities. And the proof journal, right, rereading it at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you'll be like, well, hello, I'm psychic. I'm awesome. I know everything. Right, Susie?
Oh, yeah.
Susie's been doing that for 3.5 weeks, like on top of it. And she's starting to read my mind, which is scary. I don't want to be in there. Okay, who else has something?
I don't know, when we're talking about what you remember before 7 years old, I really have very few childhood memories, but even as an adult, I have like a lot of, I guess, adult memories, but my memory just is not
Who else
very
is having
good
that problem?
in general.
Memory?
Memory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a huge part of the ascension. And let me tell you why your memories are going. Is because we have so much healing to do karmically on this planet that the Christ consciousness energy is doing us a favor and eliminating thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of memories from our timeline so that we don't have to heal from everything. Okay? Now it affects us now, but you don't need to know it. Okay? So here's how you know what happened in childhood. What's happening now? Today. What's in your now moment that is affecting your process? That's what happened before 7. Because everything is happening now, and we don't need to heal anything that's not happening in the now. So What's your money situation look like? What's your time management look like? What's your relationships look like? What's your money flow look like? And your relationships are the one with you as well. That's where you find the first 7 years. Right? So if I say, well, my body feels great, but I just can't rub 2 nickels together, you weren't safe before the age of 7. You weren't safe. Something happened where you weren't safe. So I would write down what's happening now that I'm feeling blocked or not supported with. And then I would try to go back to that first 7-year cycle. And if you can't get there on your own, come see us. That's what we do here all the time. Yes?
What if you remember your first 7 years as being good, wonderful,
Good.
happy?
Good.
But then the rest of my life has been.
Well, there had to have been something that happened or occurred in that first 7-year cycle that made you feel it's not safe to make choices that you made later. Okay? So even though, and a lot of people kind of mean like, well, I wasn't abused or this. You know what? When you don't get the cup you want or the cookie, it's trauma. Literally. And I say this in my workshop. My 2-year-old, you take his toy away, it's like someone stealing my car.
Life is over.
Right? Because it's perspective. And for a child 0 to 7 who is extrasensory, you're very intuitive. That wasn't honored or accepted or nurtured within you. You created fear in your vibration. That fear made you choose and make choices later in life that changed the direction of your life. Does that make sense? So it's not about having an unhappy childhood, but not being able to be yourself is trauma. I teach all the time about how we all have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, chemically, emotionally, or physically. We weren't fed properly, or we had too much vaccines, or medications, or antibiotics. Physical, we had too many accidents, or we were abused. Emotional, God knows what happened, because we were all parented by wounded parents who did the best they could from where they were. They didn't know how to support a starseed or an indigo or a volunteer, did they? Does anybody have any more questions? Yes.
I know, I'm like the question of the day.
I like it.
How do I help my twins be
Help
they're
yourself.
so stressful.
No,
so,
help you.
They're not pleasant to be around. all the
Help
time.
you.
I'm just serious.
So
I'm
I just did
14.
a conscious parenting class. I would recommend that you come to it. Your kids are perfect. It's you who needs to help. So your kids are actually there to teach you. So are they stressing you out?
In the mornings, yes, they are. Yeah,
And what are they doing that's stressing you out?
They fight,
Okay.
and they're just mad at the world sometimes.
And where are you mad at yourself?
That's what's so kind of not. The twins have a very negative aspect towards, I don't know, just whenever I'm around, whenever we're together, I guess. So
they're your greatest reflection. They're your greatest reflection. Children are our mirror. So what that means is that the things that trigger us are the things that are alive within us. So I would sit down and write down, what am I angry about? What am I stressed out about? What am I fighting against? Are you fighting against anything right now?
I don't feel like it.
What is your job?
Right now, I'm at home taking care of them. I don't work right now.
Okay, and how is that situation showing up for you? Is that where you want to be?
I don't know where I want to be right now. I'm kind of everywhere. So I don't know where.
No.
What?
You're not where you want to be. The answer's no.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm not where I want to be. You're right. No, I'm not.
So the fighting is about you having an inner fight with yourself, and your children love you so much they're going to demonstrate your personal war.
And they're 14.
Yeah, they're 14 years old.
Good luck with that one. I brought some PMS in the house.
Oh my gosh, there's 3 of them.
Well, I'm going to tell you though, the divine feminine energy is about creation. And if you're not creating joy in your own life, you will have lots of representatives show up in your life to show you exactly what that looks like, because you don't want to feel your own fight. I know that's heavy.
No, it's just I don't feel. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel stress. I don't feel negativity. I try to
keep a positive.
You need to
in the
come have a
household.
session with me because I'm going to tell you all about you.
She
Because
manifested
here's the thing. Here's the thing about you is you're really strong on the surface and you're big gooey grief. There's a lot of grief within your body, stored at a cellular level.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, my
knees hurt all the time.
my knees,
She's in pain all the time.
all the time.
And I just want to get her moving. You know, we're totally opposite.
I mean, I've like made a difference. I mean, there's been a big
Well, yeah,
change
you're
the
here
last
today,
year.
so obviously you're in alignment.
And
with
she's got the best attitude. And
There's-
I've got more of a, you know, grumpy one maybe.
And I have some good people come into my life to help me get things.
But pain is
together.
resistance. Pain is about an inner struggle. Pain is about a war within the self. So you have so much greatness to give, right? But you need someone to believe in you. Who do you have that really believes in you right now? Who looks at you like you're magic?
Lizzie,
Your daughter?
11, Lizzie.
So she's your angelic. We all have an angelic in our life. You are magic. So you need to make sure that you are spending more time with her because she will open you up to your heart. With you, it's about really being afraid to be vulnerable and receive love. Because you're really strong on the surface, but there's a lot going on underneath that needs love and healing, and you need someone to just tell you every day how magical and wonderful you are. And you need to hear it every day until you believe it, because you are. And come see me. I'll do a session with you. Okay. Anybody else? We have time for one more question. Yay!
I just wanted to ask about the child, to nurture the child. I feel like there's been a lot of ways I've spent working on nurturing the child. This last round has been really strong of the grief and the difficulty to let it go. And sometimes there's a wanting nurture better, and I want to nurture my daughter better. But there's this critical feeling like I didn't get it, and I'm not knowing how to give it.
Are you your security blanket?
What's that?
Are you your security blanket?
Yes.
Or are you needing other things around you, healings and teachers and beads and gems and, I mean, would you be okay being completely alone in self-nurturing?
No.
Okay.
This is where I'm asking
So
for.
the child needs to trust itself, not love itself. You love yourself,
Right, but it's just not working.
right? So are you keeping a proof journal?
I have not been keeping a proof journal.
Okay, so you are one of the greatest healers I have ever seen.
It's the child that
No.
wants the nourishment.
No, you are the child. You
I'm
are
still the child.
You are the child. Everyone in here is technically 7 or under. So here's how you nurture here's how you self-nurture, okay? Spending time alone. Letting yourself crack completely. Cry it out to the point where you're the only one that can make it better.
That's been happening. We're right on board with that one.
See? Your intuition's there. But the thing is the spiritual codependency is I need someone there to help me, and you're way too advanced. I mean, you're actually at the tail end of all this energy, so it's all pushing against you. And right now, all you need to do is wrap your arms around yourself and say, I'm here.
I'm just glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm here.
I'm here.
What would you tell your daughter if she fell down? Right? Well, you fell down. So you need to say that to you. Right? And you need to make sure that you are the security blanket that you seek. And then as soon as you feel, no matter where you are or where you go, that you can create self-nurturing, then that child is healed. But it's about trusting your own ability to nurture yourself.
Yes.
And that is where that abundance comes in, right? So safety, nurturing, feeling safe. So we'll talk about that after.
Yep.
But that's probably a lot of people are feeling that. Okay. Hopefully none of you fell asleep. Hopefully it wasn't too weird for you. I could have gone really weird. Maybe next month. I was testing the waters today. You know, in my meditations, I get a lot of information about what's happening on the planet, and not a lot of it is relevant today other than what we talked about. Just to recap, body, self-nurturing, letting yourself be great. Letting yourself be great. I will tell you, you're not going to lose the ones you love by being great. Because when you're great, you give them permission. It just might not be in your time frame. It's okay. There's going to be people waiting for you at that new level that are going to help you move ahead. You're not going to be alone in your greatness. You're not going to be the weirdo that sees through trees. We'll all see through trees with you. Whatever you're resonating towards, please start learning about it, researching it, taking classes on it, because you need to be doing it. Shaman. Spend more time in joy. Try to spend 50% of your day joy. And you know what? If you're at work, learn to use your imaginations, people, because you are multidimensional, which means you can be somewhere else and do your job pretty fluently. Your imagination is the conduit to build the new reality. Spending time building dream boards, building the new life that you want will help you bring the energy in. But as we move back right now, our past is coming in our face. Past people are coming back into our lives, past body problems are coming back, past issues we thought we had healed are in our lap in the now, and it's only because Spirit is saying we need momentum in order to let go. And when you finally let go, in 1 year's time, I can guarantee you by this time next year, you aren't going to recognize your life at all. It's going to be so fantastic that you are going to just be like, what a ride, which is exactly what you're going to say. It's like, how many of you have went through the last year, right? And maybe a lot of things changed, but at the end of the year you looked back and it didn't feel like it at the time, but everything's different. That's exactly what's going to transcend this year. And we can either help the process or we can resist the process. If we help the process, then we move faster. And if we stop the process and live in resistance and don't face our own fears and don't fight or don't love our own war that's going on within, then it's going to feel a lot harder for us this next year, because things are only going to get more challenging if you resist it. It's like trying to fight a current. Anybody's been in a riptide, I can guarantee you. There's no winning. All of a sudden, you just have to let go and hope that you get to shore. Because that's what's actually going to happen. Just let go. Stop living for other people. You're not leaving anyone behind. This is all contracted. Everybody that's in your life now is part of your contract. They know exactly what role they're going to play in your life. And it's not always the good guy. The ones who have played your darkness in your life are there to trigger you and wake you up and push you into self-love. That's what those abusive relationships teach us, is how to love ourselves. No one's going to love you the way you love you. And I'm going to tell you, the only thing that you technically own while you're here is that body. That's it. Everything else can go change. That body is all you have, and it's all you need to manifest anything you want, to heal anything you want, experience anything you want. But you got to take care of it. You got to make it a priority. You got to investigate you. You have to ask you the questions. How am I feeling? What do I need and what do I want? Slow down. If you're not meditating, come get on the MindFit device. It'll put your brain into a meditative state between 3 and 7 minutes, and it will help affirm your brain into new patterns. Brain technology. We're going to ride the wave of technology. So another thing that came to me 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago, in my meditation process was hemp. Obviously, we've known about hemp for 2,000 years since Jesus was talking about it last time. Right? He said hemp is the way to go. Well, let me tell you what hemp does to the human body. It releases energetic resistance. Completely. Energetic resistance. That's why people smoke pot, is because they lower resistance. right? Well, when you put hemp in your body, your cells go, and they can heal. Why do you think kids are stopping having seizures? Autism is calming down. That's resistance of the brain. Resistance of being on a third dimensional planet when they want to be home. Who's homesick in here? Yeah. Okay? So what we're doing at Transcendence now is we're trying to help with the resistance process. Because you know what? That's the only thing that's left from you guys fully moving into divine greatness is your own resistance. So anything that you can possibly do to lower your own resistance is all you need right now. So meditation, getting some hemp in your body, and it's super high in protein. Building block of life. You want to stop aging, right? Start being around things you love, people around you love. People who look at you like you're magic. If you don't have one person in your life that looks at you like you're magic, find new people. Because you look at someone else like they're magic, right? You deserve that. And if there's no one in your life right now that's looking at you like you're magic, it's because you're not believing that you are magic. You are the most important person in your universe, and you are all you need. Everybody else is just a playmate. Everybody else just keeps it so it's not boring here. So taking care of the body allows you to play more. It allows you more freedom. It allows you to do your life's purpose. Nobody wants to work with a sick body. Nobody wants to be creative when your head hurts. Take care of your body. Repair your nervous systems. Meditation. If you're not meditating, there's chemical trauma, emotional trauma, and physical trauma in the body if you can't stop your mind. That's the only thing that's stopping you from meditating, is trauma. Your brain is in a glitch that says, I am not safe, therefore I can't slow down. I have to keep moving. Active mind is a representation of trauma. Come see us, we'll put you on Mind Fit for free and teach you how to stop that mind by bypassing it. And I do a whole class on that if you guys are interested in. Hemp, we're gonna have it here. We're going to have top-of-the-line whole leaf product here available. Yes?
I'm actually talking about taking it through the mouth or on the body too as well.
Okay, so let me tell you this story. Susie and I had the opportunity to go to Florida and train with the most elite doctors on the planet, holistic doctors that are doing some insane innovation in natural healing. And right before we got on the plane, Susie had a toothache that was so excruciating that she was like, I want to rip it out. I mean, it was that type of pain. If any of you have ever had mouth pain before, it's like, it makes you psychotic, right? And I had to travel with her. So we get to Florida, and, you know, we're going through the conference, and she's like, I'm going to have to take something. I mean, this is just, it was just making her so uncomfortable, brought her to tears. And so we happened to synchronistically walk over and meet this lady. And she said, oh, just come here, honey. And she put, how many, 6 drops right to the tooth. And she literally counted down with her clock, 10, 9, 8, 7. And by the time we got to 0, her pain was completely gone. Now, what we did, because we're scientists, is every hour we documented if the pain came back. Because we were like, this is magic. Right? And I had just gotten 3 weeks ago, hemp. I'm like, okay, I'll buy some new sheets, you know. No, I had no idea it was oil. So it took 12 hours for the pain to come back, and it only came back a tiny bit. So we went back next day like drug addicts and was like, I need a hit. And they put it right on her tooth, and she's been completely pain-free since. And of course we purchased some.
So is it different from the kind that you buy at the grocery store?
Yes, because here's the thing, is when you're buying stuff from a grocery store, you're still getting a deactivated product because it's got to have shelf life. And, you know, the thing is until our consumerism shifts, a lot of the real stuff we have to get online. Okay, you need an active ingredient, a whole plant, high amino acids, yes. So, and it's an omega-3, which is going to bind I'll probably do a class on hemp coming up. But the reason that I'm talking about it today is because it goes in with what we're talking about as far as lowering resistance. You know, because if you look in our big Bible book that we have here, it's the emotional symptom book. Any pain that you have in your body was first emotional. Okay? So when we looked up tooth, what did it say?
It was talking about nurturing from my children. And let me just tell you, I'm going through that.
So she's having some issues in her home with her kids. Okay? And so she manifested the pain exactly where it needed to manifest in order to get her attention so that she could look at the problem. That's what pain is for. Look at me, look at me, look at me. She knows she has to handle stuff that's going on at home. We all do. But she took some hemp oil to lower the resistance so she could remove the pain so she could see the problem. And now she's taking action at home.
Well, I also want to add, too, that I have a Mastiff and she has a corn on her foot. And imagine being 180 pounds and having a corn on your foot. I've started putting this on her foot, and I've been doing Reiki on her and whatnot. And she's able to put more pressure on her foot since I've started doing it.
And I will tell you, your pet's issues are your issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your pets love you so unconditionally, they take on all your stuff.
Yeah.
Your pets are sick, it's something you're not looking at within. Your kids are sick, it's you. Okay? Those are the only two things I wanted to give you alternatives for fast lowering resistance. Yes?
Two things I want to add. Don't forget that Jerry has coffee here.
Please.
So please stay and be social and mingle with each other afterwards and make a donation there. And Karsten has something that he would like to give to you.
Me?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Yay! What is it?
It's for you.
Wow.
For being you.
For me. Oh my gosh!
It's you, Jessica!
So I saw
That's
this.
what I look like in my mind.
It is.
I saw this.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
For being you.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank you guys all for coming. If you can do your homework this month, right? Start working on those bodies. Start lowering resistance. I have so much more I want to share with you guys. This will always be free. I just want to come and give you information. I don't want to sell you anything. I don't need you to be here. But we're all in this together. So if you have a blind spot in your life that you're struggling with, come see us. Otherwise, just come back next month. Do your homework. Write down things that you're going through and say, how is this serving me? And wait for the answer to come within. You are the guru. You have all of the answers in your DNA of the whole universe. You don't need anybody's opinion. Things go a lot faster when you are your best friend. When you are the confidant. When you ask yourselves the questions and you get the answers, you propel. Don't be afraid to leave people behind. You won't. They will come with you if they're contracted to come with you. And if they're not, you will understand why. That's all I can say. Come back next month. I've got a lot to talk about, and it won't be about the body next month. So you guys really need to do your homework on body stuff. I do free consultations. If you haven't seen me, I'll do a timeline reading for you, tell you a little bit about your past and all that good stuff and future and whatever comes up. And if you want to sample what fast meditation and brain retraining feels like, go see Susie. Thank you guys for coming. I have invited two special guests to Transcendence today, both being vulnerable in their own right. Vanessa DeWater, she is our newest life coach here at Transcendence Wellness Center. She has actually trained under me, but she has a lot of her own academic studies. She's wrapping up her master's degree in mental health counseling. So she's very wise in the life coaching department. She also happens to be a phenomenal musician and singer. So we have asked her to come up here and be vulnerable today and share a soul song that she has written and perform. We have also invited an entrepreneur and a spiritual soldier, Jerry, with his business, the Redheaded Philosopher Coffee. We're all about empowering that authentic self. And if you can put yourself out there and build a business or a company, based around your passion and your purpose in life, it should be celebrated. And that's exactly what Second Sundays is a celebration. A celebration of the new earth and the expansion of where we're heading. So without further ado, I'm going to leave Vanessa here to sing, and then we'll get started.
Thank you, Jessica. So I didn't have a guitarist that was going to come with me, but you know how us musicians are. So I do have some recordings, though, of some other songs, so I'd love to share those with you. Start with this one. Two of them. Hear it okay? I'm begging you, please, just fall into me. A love doomed to be detained secrecy. And someday we'll see what it's like to be free. When it's just you and me, singing in harmony. Do you dare to dream of how it will be? It's you that holds the key to my melody. And someday we'll see what it's like to be free. When it's just you and me, singing in harmony. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Just you and me in harmony. That was all there to got one more, and then I'll let you have it. Feel so broken, shattered in pieces, thinking how it used used to be. I remember a time when it wasn't always ripping at the seams. I look in your eyes, it's over now, you see me differently. Slipping deeply out of this moment, never to recover. The fear of losing myself makes me absolutely shudder. Used to stay up past 3 and laugh incessantly. Now that you're with her, my nights are achingly empty, and the silence is piercing. The rain wash away my pain. Blue rain. It was artificially sweet, diluted by the wrapping. Now that it's unraveled, I can see the reality. Such a bitter brutality. Blue rain wash away my pain. Blue rain. I knew the day was here, I knew it would come, but I didn't know it was tomorrow. That scared reality is over now, I'm not drowning in my sorrow.
You fall down, gotta pick yourself up. There's no need for us to suffer. Headstrong in love for the things that you have just discovered.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa.
We gotta find a guitarist that'll stick with it next time.